and welcome to Assetium podcast series. My name is Imo, and I have Mr. Kunle, Mr. Effiong, and Mr. Abdul Razak here with us. Well, we'll be talking commodities and the entire chain. Hopefully, we'll shed light and unbox what actually happens behind the counters, especially for you if you're looking at how to expand and increase your investment, increase what comes in as far as making money is concerned. Join me. Well, so quickly, without wasting time, we're talking Assetium here. But for our viewers, could you just take a moment, give us an overview of your business? What exactly do you do in Assetium?
Briefly, I would say that when you talk Assetium, you're talking commodity.
Okay.
So we're a licensed commodity broker dealer as an organization, licensed by SEC, and also being have an oversight from SEC. What we've done over the years is to deepen our presence in the commodity market. We are particular about the kind of value we can derive from commodities, both for the organization and for everybody that has a business interest in Assetium. So for us as an organization, we focus on all types of commodities, hard and soft commodities.
You want to expand
soft commodities?
On that?
Soft commodities, we speak to agro-commodities. So anything that you can plant and harvest and you can pull out of the soil. Commodities are actually anything that comes from the ground. So, and this is all over the world. So for every country, for every region, for every locality, there are different commodities that thrive in those regions. So when you talk about soft commodities, you speak to the agro-commodities. When you speak to the hard commodities, you're speaking to ferrous and non-ferrous metals. Then you have the oil and gas. They are all commodities.
Interesting. So you water the ground basically and give your investors a smooth run to their money as a destination. But let's talk about the value chain. What happens? Take us from the beginning.
Okay. So the value chain for commodities starts with the production, which is where you have the smallholder farmers. So farmers that plant and pull their resources together to ensure that we get good harvest at the end of every season. So from there you speak to the aggregators, and then you speak to a bit of logistics, and then you're also speaking to warehousing, preservation of those commodities at every time, and then before you maybe move them to processors and ultimately to the end users. So the end users are usually the consumers of those products. So that is what the value chain looks like in summary. But for us as an organization, we play from the aggregation section up until warehousing. For that way, we try to avoid certain risks that are that we may not have control over, and that may expose also other investors to losing value. And for us, it's always about capital preservation.
Well, there are concerns locally here in Nigeria and globally, of course, also touching the issue of forex instability locally. How does all of this come into play through this entire chain that you just briefed us on?
Forex is actually a major challenge when it comes to commodity, basically. And it's either way. It's either it favors you positively or the other way around, depending on when you're actually going into the market. I'll just share an insight into what we have done in the past, as regard forex. Just sometimes, let's say a couple of weeks back or a couple of months back, as the season was booming for cashew, the price of a ton of cashew then was about 1.3 million naira for a ton of cashew. And at that particular point in time, the price of USD to Naira was about 1,600, 1,700. But along the line, the price came down to about 700,000 Naira per ton of cashew. One of the reasons that is responsible for that is actually, is actually FX. Because between March and February, to be precise, there's that drop in the price of our FX, specifically, USD. At the point in time, it went as low as 1,050 naira.
Yes, indeed.
So as the price was dropping, the price of most of these cash crops, cashew inclusive, was also dropping. So Forex play a very vital role when it comes to commodity business. Okay. And the same way it affected agro-commodities, it's also the same way it actually affected those other commodities like the ferrous and the non-ferrous. The price of gold also, so it's also affected the price of gold. So FX is a major factor. Okay. So for every experienced analyst or those of us who are in the business, we know how to handle this. With a couple of options, provided in-house, so that when such happens, we're able to actually come out of it positively. Most times that's what we do.
Okay, now as far as what you do as business is concerned, I'd like to bring this to you, Mr. Effiong. The issue of pricing, seasons and off-season, how do you guarantee sustainability and profitability in your line of business?
Okay, well, first of all, start by saying it's an investment company, it's an investment opportunity. So we try as much as possible to protect the investment of any of their clients, understand? So by doing this, we have different locations we go across confirming prices, and we deal on the best prices. Mind you, those prices from those locations might be dependent on the quality on those locations. So what we do is that we go around, we get the best price possible. We know where we get our best quality to meet international standards, and we start buying and aggregating at the same time. So we deal with farmers, and we aggregate. We do the cleaning. We take it into warehousing for processing. Yes.
Mr. Kunle, I'll come back to you now. First, it was Russia and Ukraine. And you know the whole story behind grains coming in and not coming out and all of that. Now it's Israel and Gaza. Well, not looking at the war now, we're looking at the business aspect of it. And of course, here in Nigeria, we're looking at the issues of insecurity, banditry, farmer-header clashes. How does this overall impact your line of business?
So it's not just the line of business, it affects the world at large. If you remember back then during the start of the Ukraine-Russian war, the entire world was in a uproar about prices going up, especially for grains, and same for oil and gas. So for organizations like ours, aside from the fact that some of these things can happen without notice, one of the things that we've also been able to do is try to protect ourselves and protect people we work with, or that we work with their funds. We, as much as possible, try to understand what is happening both politically, economically, and policy-wise. So a good investor or a good fund manager will be able to tell that there might be a problem at some point. And then one of the things you want to do is begin to position yourself. So one of the things we do is that we have a lot of, we gather a lot of intelligence even in the marketplace from the smallholder farmers. So we have relationships with them. We're always in touch with them. People on our field, of which Mr. Effiong coordinates, they're always giving a lot of feedback from the field as to happenings around, both in terms of insecurity. We know almost know when to go to certain places and when not to go. We know how to aggregate or how to pull. We know when to send in or pull out whatever resources we have at any location at any point in time. So yes, it affects the country, but more importantly for us is that we always try to be ahead and to secure whatever investments we have at any location per time.
Okay, now, just a quick one. When you talk about commodities and investments, it sounds elitist. So let's look at the size of this investment. Is it an elitist thing, or, you encourage small investors too, growing investors?
Honestly, I would say that majority of people that play in this market, they are probably people you call illiterates. And that's the truth. If you go into the market, the real market, forget that we're in the office. People that you see in the office, they're just doing back office.
Back end.
If you go to the market itself, you see people in fact, we also do that. You see us in our
I can imagine you.
And then you roll up your sleeves,
in the
you're in the market. You are trying to ensure you relate. In fact, communication is also important. When you are too polished, they probably won't even talk to you. So you have to come to their level. And these are the people that are doing volume, a lot of volume, especially the farmers, the smallholder farmers. They are doing a whole lot. The people that aggregate, the aggregators are also, it's not an elitist market at all.
Okay, so if I have 10 million, if I have 5 million, I can throw it in there and allow it to be cooling. If I have a particular destination I'm looking at, a particular target, financial target, I could say, okay, how long? I can talk to Assetium and say, how long would it take me to hit this amount? What do I need to put in?
Exactly. That's what we are here for. Fund management, advisory. We can talk through. So if you have financial targets, we can talk you through what needs to be done, how to place your funds, at what point you can pull out funds. We have people that all they are interested in is they make sure my capital is preserved. I just need money at this time for this purpose. And then we try to structure their funds in a manner that they get the kind of returns that will meet their needs per time.